Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta jana kalyani niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram, Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. We'll chant together from 16th verse. Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami yajñātva mokshase shubhat कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः कर्मण्यकर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्नकर्म कृते यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्वपरिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. Bhagavan Krishna is a very good teacher. Whatever topic he chooses, he will mention the main point first, elaborate it thoroughly, and then conclude that particular topic. 16th verse onwards is one topic about the nature of karma. 16th verse Bhagavan said, what is karma and what is akarma? Karma means actions, what is done through this ahankara, the ego, and the actionless self, which is akarma, atma. Between that there is a lot of confusion. Even wise people get confused about what is akarma and what is karma. Bhagavan said, Arjuna, I don't want you to just get into either of them. Don't misunderstand what is akarma. Don't misunderstand what is karma. 17th verse Bhagavan says there are 3 types of karmas which I will elaborate. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam. I will elaborate what is karma. Means what is shastra vihita karma, that I will elaborate. Bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha. What is pratisiddha karma, what is forbidden karma, that I will elaborate. Akarmanascha bodhavyam. What is akarma? What is actionlessness according to Bhagavad Geeta? That also I will elaborate. Why Bhagavan? Why are you elaborating? He says, Gahana karmano gatihi. To appreciate karma in true sense is very difficult. If we look at Bhagavad Gita through our own lens, we will derive conclusions based on our own prejudices. So many people share the main message, the central theme of Bhagavad Gita is, Arjuna, get up, fight the war. It is only contextual that teaching is presented in a war setting. Bhagavad Gita is essence of Upanishads. It has nothing to do with war. We chant in Gita Dhyanam, Sarvopanishado Gavaha, Dogdha Gopalanandana. All Upanishads are the cow, and the milk which is nectarian milk which is gained is Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavan says, Bhagavad Gita is neither telling us about being too busy in life, nor is it telling us to withdraw into a cave. Then what is Bhagavad Gita telling us? That is the 18th verse. In action, recognize the actionless self. Karmani akarmayah pashyet. In and through the busy lives that we have, diverse work that we do, the main emphasis of Bhagavad Gita is to see actionless self in the midst of all that action. And not to mistake solitude for nature of Atma. Akarmani cha karmayah. Akarmani means withdrawing this mind, making it quiet, sitting in solitude. That is not nature of Atma, that is nature of mind. And mind's nature is such, it cannot remain the same forever. Now it will be quiet, next moment it will show another color. Gurudev would tell all the camp delegates who would come in Siddhabari. Siddhabari camps were such, they would be given a saffron robe to wear. Orange gown would be there. So mentally you are detaching yourself from the world, and just in that bhava you are sitting. He would say, when everybody is quiet, in his discourse, and his voice was so powerful, that pin drop silence will be there. He would say, now if I look at all of you, you look like rishis. But let the class get over. Something or the other will be there to complain about. Some facility is not right, water is not coming, hot water is not there. And it was in the Himalayas. Something would go wrong. The point is, mind's color keeps changing. One moment it is sattvic, one moment it is rajasic, one moment it is tamasic. Not to mistake sattvic state of mind to be Atma. Not to mistake sattvic state of mind to be Atma. Bhagavan says that person is buddhiman. Sa buddhiman manushyeshu sa yuktah kritsna karma krit. If sattvic state is there, very well and good. He will strive for it. But if rajasic state comes, he will not get shaken. If tamas comes, he will not get disturbed. Bhagavan says that person has really accomplished purpose of human birth. Sa buddhiman manushyeshu sa yuktah kritsna karma krit. Whatever he had to accomplish in this human birth, he has accomplished. By doing what? By knowing himself to be of the nature of the self. Let whatever happens to ahankara happen. If prarabdha brings lot of work, he will do it. And if prarabdha doesn't want him to work, he will happily be content. Doesn't go looking for more work. Both sides are there. That person is a Jnani. Now Bhagavan is taking so much pain here to elaborate this point, because he says, who is a Jnani? Seek the definition from Shastra only. We should not have our own ideas about who is a Jnani. One idea people have is somebody who is involved in action, one who is very active. That person is an indulgent person. That person cannot be a Jnani. Means Jnani should be somebody who is always living in cave, living in solitude, not involved. Now if somebody lives a life like that, same people will say, why isn't he contributing? He has so much of potential, why is he living in a cave? Bhagavan says, don't seek definitions about a Jnani from the world. That is why 2 shlokas came to elaborate how does a jnani live in vyavahara and how does a jnani live in solitude. Two different types of jnanis. Their expressions in this world are totally different. It has nothing to do with their knowledge. It has nothing to do with their Jivan Mukti. At the same time, Bhagavan is telling us, if a jnani is there in vyavahara, what are the things he is very alert about? So 20th verse was, Tyaktva karma phala sangam. Right in the beginning, he is giving up all false expectations. Whichever project he takes up, he has nothing to gain with the success of that project. Nothing to lose if the project doesn't go the way he wants. Why are we relating this to a project? Because this jnani is the one who is in pravrutti. This jnani is the one who is in vyavahara. That is his mindset. And nitya truptaha. His contentment doesn't come from the work. It also doesn't come from the result of the work. Contentment is coming from Atma, which is really speaking the nature of Ananda. His own nature is contentment. He is reveling in that. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain from the work that he is doing. Nitya truptaha nirashrayah. For somebody to live in vyavahara without ashraya is almost impossible. Think about it. You are starting some work and you are not taking support in people, you are not taking support in the work, not even taking support in the result of the work. Somebody will ask, what is the motivation? Why would somebody even start that kind of a work? Bhagavan said that is his nature. Loka sangraha, to do the right thing, that becomes his nature. He doesn't need any external carrots for motivation. That is this jnani. Nitya truptaha nirashrayah. Then Bhagavan Krishna declares, make as much, let this jnani do as much work as he wants. Karmani pravruttah, he doesn't say. Karmani abhipravruttah. Totally engrossed in work, totally involved in work. In spite of doing that, naiva kinchit karoti saha. Really speaking, he is not doing anything. Now, who was this jnani? One who was in vyavahara. Unless you appreciate these connections, verse will not open up. You will feel the next verse is also the same. What is the difference between the 20th verse and the 21st verse? So all these sambandhas, they will be given in Bhashya. So one commentary is Bhagavan Shankaracharya's commentary. Another commentary is Gudartha Deepika by Madhusudana Saraswati ji. Very beautiful connections are given between verses. Why this verse has come after the previous one. That's when you get a lot of joy studying verse by verse, word by word, and the whole chapter unfolds. Now think about it. What is the main title of this chapter, 4th chapter? Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Through Jnanam, doing sannyasa of karma. And if we don't appreciate this, we will always be behind doing sannyasa of karma only. He says, no, that previous word is important. Jnanena karma sannyasa. Only karma sannyasa will not serve the purpose. Inside, if there is rajoguna, inside if there is some desire, and I have dropped karma outside, Bhagavan calls that person mithyachara. Mithyachara. He says it is better that we hold on to karma, do it in a dharmic way, and grow out of that desire. Having grown out of it, one can still do that karma with this bhavana, that I have nothing to gain, nothing to lose. That is this jnani who is doing karma with clear knowledge. Next verse is a jnani who is in solitude. Jnani in solitude, how does he live? Nirashihi. Means he has no expectations from anything. In general, a sadhaka's mindset is, we have a long list. If these things happen the way that we want, everything is good. everything is perfect. If all these parameters, they get 5 stars. They ask in apps and all, right? How will you rate it? 1 star to 5 star. Like that, we have stars about every different facet of paristhiti, situation. Now, if somebody is living in solitude, he has this ability that he has no expectations for any paristhiti to be in a particular way. That is a sadhaka who is nirashihi. Nirashihi. But if somebody is living in solitude, they need more self-discipline. That is why the next word comes, yata chittatma. Do you see, yata chittatma word was not used for jnani in pravritti. For somebody who is involved in actions, they cannot decide their schedule. Some of our Swamijis, when they go for jnana yajnas in India, there are places where there is a steel plant, like in Bhilai there is one, and few other places, in Jharkhand and other places. You know what time is a jnana yajna? 5:30 a.m. Because all our devotees are working in that steel factory. They will do night shift, finish at 5:30, they'll come to the class, go home and sleep. So the Swamiji has to come there at 5:30 to give a class. And in some places in Gujarat, where there is more business community, Jnana Yajna is at 10:30 night. After a lot of effort, he brought it to 9:30. He said, 10:30, who will come? But people came. By the time they closed their shop, went home, had dinner, took care of family, then they would come here. So somebody who is in pravritti, they have no control over their routine. Imagine Gurudev's life, Guruji's life also, so much of traveling. Now what time flight is there, it is not according to our choice. Whenever it is there, you have to go. And you say, no, this is my meditation time. But if somebody is in nivritti, more withdrawn life, there is more self-discipline. That is this word, yata chittatma, who has disciplined sense organs in a very beautiful way. And tyakta sarva parigraha. We saw all examples and everything. I'm not repeating them, but just the words should ring a bell. Minimalistic life, not taking more than what is needed. That is this jnani, living with minimal things. If you have seen Taponji Maharaj's Kutiya, this word will open up more. Tyakta sarva parigraha, 1 bed and 1 trunk and 1 veranda outside. With that, Swamiji lived with his mind in samadhi. For hours and days, he would sit on that veranda just looking at Gangaji. Those are these Mahatmas, tyakta sarva parigraha. Shariram kevalam karma kurvan apnoti kilbisham. Even though doing actions just for the sake of sustaining this body, in spite of that, this jnani is not bound. He does not create any new vasanas. Because somebody might ask, even to sustain this body, you will have to do little bit of karma. Will that karma not create vasanas? Bhagavan says no, because their knowledge is so powerful and their lifestyle has been very well tuned. That is why it will not bind them. Okay? But you see the result of both these verses. What is the status of karma in the life of a jnani who is in pravritti? 20th verse you see, naiva kinchit karoti saha. He does not do anything. What is the status of karma for a jnani who is in nivritti, withdrawn? 21st verse, kurvan napnoti kilbisham. In spite of doing that little bit of pravritti, still he is not doing anything. So Bhagavad Gita's emphasis is not only in doing action. Bhagavad Gita's emphasis is not just to withdraw and sit in solitude. Bhagavan says the emphasis is on shifting attention to that actionless self. According to your drive, according to your swabhava, that person will end up doing vyavahara, or he might choose not to do vyavahara. But it doesn't affect the knowledge, doesn't affect the actionless self. Now there is somebody who is doing this kind of lifestyle, living a withdrawn life, very introverted life, like that Jnani who was in Nivrutti. Now that Jnani who is in Nivrutti, how are things for him? Little bit more elaboration Bhagavan gives in 22nd verse. This is still continuation of the previous verse. Yadruchhalabha santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha samasiddhava siddhau cha krutva pina nibadhyate yadruchhalabha santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha samasiddhava siddhau cha krutva pina nibadhyate. Every word is beautiful. Although it's an expression of knowledge, for us as sadhaka it becomes a sadhana. How does this jnani live? Now remember, he is not doing too much of karma, living a withdrawn life. He cannot have too many demands. So how does he live? Yadruchha labha santushtaha. Ichha means desire. Swecha means my desire. Yadruchha means whatever Bhagwan desires. Yadruchha means whatever I have not asked for and it comes to me. The very fact it is coming means somebody is sending it. It cannot be randomly arriving. No package arrives at our door randomly. Either we order it or somebody else orders it. So whatever things we are getting, this jnani says, I am content with whatever comes. No demands, no wish list. Gurudev writes in some article about his time he spent with Taponji Maharaj. He said their bhiksha was in that Kali Kamliwala kshetra. It's a very popular kshetra there. And he said the lunch was yellow water with 2 pieces of lentils floating on it. Means you have to catch it. There will be 2 pieces of lentils floating on it, that is dal. And he writes, 10 years I lived there with not even one sign of sickness. No headache, nothing, because mind was in such elevated thoughts. And he writes something more also, but he says everything started when I came down. But the main thing is, yadruchha labha santushtaha. Yadruchha labha santushtaha. Whatever comes, in that he is content. There is a song written by Purandar Dasji. I had mentioned it last time also in Kannada. He says, Kottavaru sariye, kodade bittidaru sariye. He is praying to the Lord and he says, Bhagwan, if you give, it is good. If you don't give also, it is good. Kottavaru sariye, kodade bittidaru sariye. Huttisida Prabhu namage hottige kodadirane. That Bhagwan who has given us birth, who took care of us in mother's womb, will he not take care of our food? Food includes everything, whatever has to come to us. In that thing, why have this doubt that Bhagwan will keep something which is deserving for a jiva? There is one statement about Bhagwan, na tasya phalachauryam vidyate. Means Bhagwan is so content, he doesn't need anything from our karma phala. Whatever jiva wants, he will happily give it. With that he is santushtaha. Bhagwan Shankaracharya writes one word for santushtaha. He says sanjata alam pratyaya. Pratyaya means a thought. Sanjata means born. A thought is born in his mind. What is that thought? Alam pratyaya. Alam pratyaya means whatever I have right now, that is plenty. Whatever I have right now, that is plenty. He doesn't want to be somebody else. Doesn't want to be somebody else. Socrates has a quote. He says, he who is not content with what he has, he will not be content with what he would like to have. He who is not content with what he has, he will not be content with what he would like to have. That is this person who is yadruchha labha santushtah. Even while praying to Bhagwan, he says, Bhagwan, in whatever way you have kept me, that is the best for me. And sometimes we have a wish list, At Bhagwan, there are so many miseries, so many difficulties. Why can't I be like that other person? There was a devotee who had such a wish list. Bhagwan, too many problems in my life, too many miseries are there. I want to be like that other person. Look so happy he is. Bhagwan said one day, you take all your miseries. Okay? Take all your miseries, wrap it up in a bundle, and bring it to my court. Okay? Gatri bande, you say, right? Take all your miseries, wrap it in a bundle, take it on your shoulder, bring it. And this man happily comes. What does he see? So many other people who are there, whom he thought were happy, they are also coming to the same court. And Bhagwan has told everybody, put all your miseries in a bundle, wrap it up, nobody should be able to see it, what is there. Carry it on your shoulder and come. Then he sees there are people whom he thought were very happy with bigger bundles. Carrying it on their head, almost about to fall off, brought everything. Bhagwan is sitting in his court, he says, okay, all of you put it on the corners. Everybody goes and puts their bundles. Then he says, okay, now you are free to pick anybody's bundle. You are here right now, you wanted some change. See, nobody's life can be free from misery. Nobody's life can be free from sorrow. I am giving you exchange offer. You pick whichever bundle you want and take. And guess what happened? Everybody took their own bundles and went back. They said, at least I know what is there in my life. You don't know whose bundle is what. And when we see very closely, we realize, however Bhagwan has kept us, that is the best. Not seeking anything more, not seeking anything different. Now this is from a sadhaka standpoint. For a jnani, other than Atma, everything is mithya. Other than consciousness, there is nothing there. So what is it that he will seek? And he says, contentment is nature of Atma. What other thing is there in this world which will bring contentment? That is the nature of a jnani, that is the thought process of a jnani. Yadruchha labha santushta. Dvandvatita. Dvandvatita means one who is beyond all dualities, pairs of opposites. Now think about it. In this world, can we really be free from pairs of opposites? In Ramcharitmanas, Goswamiji gives 20 pairs of opposites. Not 20 things, 20 pairs he gives. He says, whatever you pick in this world, you will always have opposite of it. You pick sukha, there will be dukkha. You pick day, there will be night. You pick amrutam, there will be visham. You pick sajjana, there will be durjana. Bhagwan says this entire creation is made up of pairs of opposites. Now how can somebody escape? How to become dvandvatita? Goswamiji there, he says, Jada Chetana Guna Doshamaya Viswa Kinhi Kartar. Bhagavan has created this entire world as a mix of guna and dosha. But what is the nature of a saint? He says, Santa Hamsa Guna Gahahi Paya Kari Hari Bari Vikara. Means that saint is like a Hamsa bird, a swan bird. Swan bird, it is said, if you give milk and water, it will take only the milk, leave behind the water. I have not seen it. They say it is how it does, Hamsa. Like that, Santa is able to take the good and acknowledge the opposite. Sometimes we go with a one-sided view of the world, that in the world we should only see goodness. Just the acknowledgement that there is another side of it will make sure that we don't get surprised by it. Now, we need not be that way, we need not endorse it also, but just refusal of the fact that there are no opposites, that itself gives a lot of agitation. So Goswamiji there writes this Chaupai in the Prakaranam of Khala Vandana. He is doing pranams to everybody, and one person is doing pranams to his wicked people, because he had to go through it. So many people tried to stop his work. So many of them tried to burn his work, discourage him from writing in regional language. And he is doing pranams to them. He says, I am not complaining about you, but I am just praying that may my work be accomplished without any obstacles. He acknowledges that creation will have both sides. That is this Dvandvatita at a sadhana level. Acknowledging both the sides and knowing which one to take. The guna part he takes, the dosha part he leaves behind. Real Dvandvatita, one can happen only from Atma standpoint. One who is establishing himself in Advaita, for him there is no Dvaita. Established in that non-dual truth, he perceives duality as mithya. That is this Dvandvatita, he is never taking anything to be Satyam. I hope we are able to appreciate both standpoints, right? If you hold on to only one, we'll get lost sometimes. Mind needs both supports, and our scriptures are very rich. They'll give both standpoints. Sadhana standpoint and Siddhanta standpoint. So Goswamiji is a master in all sadhana standpoints. And when we study Vedanta, we will get the Vedantic standpoint. The one who has recognized that there is no snake, there is only rope. Whatever is appearing as a snake is only an illusion, it is not really there. That is true non-duality of rope. In the same way, one who has understood consciousness alone is there. Perception can continue. You can still see that illusory snake, but he has this conviction, really speaking, there is only rope. So one who knows there is only Chaitanya, there is nothing called as world, that person is Dvandvatita. Yadruchha labha santushtah Dvandvatitah. Third one is Vimatsaraha. Matsaraha, in simple words, it means jealousy. Jealousy. Irsha or jealousy. Sanskrit words are beautiful. Matsaraha means Mattaha Sarati. This person is going ahead of me. Until yesterday, we both were together. But today you see, such a big house. Palatial house he has built. Duryodhana said this. Duryodhana said this to his other people who are there. Pandavas and us, both of us were together until yesterday. Both of us played together. Today you look at Hastinapura. That is where the first seed of Mahabharata is sown. The whole Mahabharata starts from there. Now the question is, where does jealousy come from? There are different stages to look at it. One is, whenever there is a sense of otherness, whenever we feel somebody else is different from me, that is the seed of this Matsarya. That is the seed of Matsarya. Whoever we see as one with ourselves, prosperity of that person we feel it is our prosperity. Although Duryodhana and the Pandavas, they were same family, but the thought was they are different, we are different. Once that comes, there is this seed of Matsarya. In this Jnani, he sees himself as each and every being. He sees himself in each and every being. There is no room for Matsarya. That is how he has become Vimatsaraha. This is the first way to look at Matsarya. Where does Matsarya come from? Sense of otherness. And somebody is going ahead of me, in that there is this insecurity. And see, whoever drops karma, right? Whoever withdraws from karma, that person will have to come to terms with this. Somebody who is in karma will go ahead. That is the nature of karma. And this Jnani is somebody who is living a withdrawn life. He cannot afford to have Matsarya. That is a consequence of his choice. The moment you withdraw, other things also will scale down. And he says, I am happy with it. Why is that? Because his goal is not world anymore. That is the only way to become Vimatsaraha like this. If world is also the goal and he has scaled back from karma, he'll be thoroughly frustrated. Brahman is the only one thing where there is no competition. Thousands of people can have Brahman as the goal, but still nobody will fall short of it. World is that thing, you have one thing as the goal, only one person will get. Somebody will be deprived, in that there will be Matsarya. You know, Hanumanji, when he crossed the ocean, there were 3 obstacles that came. What was the first one? Mainak Parvat, the flying mountain was there. Second was Surasa. Third one was Simhika. What did that Rakshasi do? Hanumanji was flying in the air and his shadow was falling down in the water. And she would catch hold of the shadow and bring that flying object down. Hanumanji suddenly felt his speed is reducing, he was going at full throttle. Suddenly he is coming down slowly. And Hanumanji doesn't talk to that Simhika, just gives her a blow and gives her moksha. Simhika gets moksha. Now the symbolic meaning of Simhika is this jealousy. Matsarya or Irsha is that Simhika. She doesn't eat anybody in water. Simhika is that Asura who doesn't eat anybody in water. It only likes somebody who is flying above. Somebody who is going ahead of her, that person she wants to pull down. How will she pull down? Holding on to some dark spot. Jealousy works in that way. Some shortcoming will be there in one person. Holding on to that, this person will try to pull it down. And it is said, with jealousy, we should not have a dialogue. In ourselves, if there is this Irsha Vritti, finish it right away. It will not do us much good. That's why Hanumanji, he has very reverential bhava towards Mainak Parvat. He goes and sparsha he does, touches the Mainak Parvat. Then with Surasa, he calls her Mata. Because Devatas had sent, he does pranams, gets his work done. But Simhika, who is this Irsha Vritti, finishes her right away. Now there are two sides to it. One, Irsha can be there in us, or somebody can become a subject of Irsha. Two different things, right? You can finish Irsha in yourself. We can try to. But what to do if we are the object? We are the object means we have to go through a situation where others have Irsha towards us. There it is said, the same bhava should be there. We sign so many waivers, right? Before getting into any contract or anything. We should sign one more waiver called as non-competition waiver. Non-competition waiver. This is what a sadhaka signs internally. And yadruchha labha santushtaha will go along with it. He says, if I deserve something, if something has to come my way, nobody can stop it. It might look as though somebody is obstructing. He says, Bhagwan is karma phaladata, who is more powerful. I don't have to worry about anything which will be deprived from me. When he signs that, when others don't feel insecure in our presence, he can hope to be free from this matsarya. Both are different standpoints. One is from inside, one is from outside. And all three will go together. Yadruchha labha santushtaha, dvandvatitaha, and vimatsaraha. Sama siddhau asiddhau cha. Sama siddhau. Whichever things happen according to his desire, he gets the result that he wants. In that, he doesn't start celebrating, doesn't start rejoicing too much. And if something doesn't go the way he wants, in that he doesn't go too down. In siddhi and asiddhi, he is equanimous. Sama siddhau asiddhau cha krutvapi na nibadhyate. In spite of doing different karmas, that person is not bound. Now this is again of a Jnani. In Bhagavad Geeta, what is the status of karma? Bhagavan is saying whether you do karma or you don't do karma doesn't matter. Which karma you do, which karma you don't do, it doesn't matter. As long as you have this clarity that you are that actionless self, which is ever content, doesn't have to seek anything from karma, the message of Bhagavad Gita is understood. Okay. Next is somebody who still does a lot of active social work. Somebody like Janak Maharaj. Bhagwan just said there is a Jnani who is withdrawn, there is somebody who is yadruchha labha santushtaha. So Janak Maharaj was living amidst so much of luxury and other things. What was his mindset like? So people like Janak Maharaj, 23rd verse. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasaha yajñāya charatah karma samagram praviliyate gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasaha yajñāya charatah karma samagram praviliyate. Gata sangasya. So gata sangasya we should not take literally. Sangha in general common translation is friend. Gata sangha means from whom all friends have gone away. Gurudev in one lecture says, somebody asked him, what is the insignia of spiritual growth? He said, when everybody runs away from you and you become Advaita in true sense. He said, oh no, sorry. Means everybody likes to come to you. Then he corrected himself. But sometimes you might misunderstand Shastra that life becomes very dry, insipid, no emotions. He says, no, Sangha gone meaning taste has gone in his mind for any kind of happiness through objects. The taste for Ananda through Vishaya, that has gone. It will not go unless we find an alternate new taste, which is more subtler, more deeper, more absorbing than the previous taste. And that is Atmarasa. Nature of the self, once this person has a glimpse of it and has understood the path to it, then all other rasas, they look very dry. That is the sadhaka gata sangaha. Gata sangha means taste for worldly vishayas has gone away. It is not only sangha with vishaya, it could also be sangha with opinions. It could also be sangha with joy that we get at mind level. There is a story in the life of Madhusudana Saraswati ji. After he composes Advaita Siddhi, one of the very advanced texts in Vedanta literature, one day when he is sitting in his kutia, one Avadhuta walks in. And he goes and sits right on the seat of Madhusudana Saraswati ji. Nobody ever dared to do that. He was such a renowned Mahatma. This Avadhuta walks in, just goes and sits in his asan. Swamiji asks, who are you? He says, I'll answer that later. I have a few questions for you. Are you mukta? He says, yes. With so much confidence he says, I have nothing more to gain. Then he says, when you do shastrartha with others, when you do debate with others, and when you establish Advaita Vedanta Siddhanta, do you feel happy? He said, yes, of course I feel happy. Shastrartha is for that. And this Avadhuta says, this is your bondage. This is your bondage. Even at vritti level, insisting that some experience should give me joy. If somebody agrees to what I am saying, he says there is so much of joy. He says that is your bondage, that is this Sangha. Other side is also true. If you get defeated in Shastrartha, if you don't establish your point, somebody else wins over you, do you feel unhappy? He said, yes, of course I do. I feel I have let down Advaita Vedanta. Avadhuta says, this is your bondage. So Gata Sangasya means in his mind, he has no insistence of any kind. If something happens according to the way that he wants, so be it. If something doesn't happen, he says, I have nothing to lose. That is true Gata Sangha. Such a person is only mukta. Huh? That's why the next word is there, muktasya. He is liberated in true sense, not bound even by his mind, not bound even by opinions. World is such, no matter how much you try to make it perfect outside, if somebody asks, how are things? What is the right answer? Not things are good. The more practical answer is, so far so good. So far so good. More we analyze this part of life, more sincere we'll become students of Vedanta. That no matter which paristhiti comes outside, no matter who does what, it is only so far so good. This world is constantly changing, nothing can stay the same forever. There is one thing which is constant, that is Atma, which is what we have to seek as goal of life. There is no change, that today Atma is Ananda Swarupa, tomorrow it might become Anananda Swarupa. Today it is Chit Swarupa, tomorrow the shine will go away. Nothing of that sort. One thing in this world which is constant He says that is this Satchidananda Brahma that one has to seek. Gata sangasya muktasya jnana avasthita chetasaha. His mind is soaked in this Vedanta knowledge. In and through his transaction, only Vedantic thoughts keep rising in his mind. Transactions have not stopped. What has stopped is erroneous notions. So Vedantic thoughts are rising. That is how his mind is able to stay in this truth. Jnana avasthita chetasa. Chetasa means mind. If you search our mind, what will we find? Sometimes it is objects of the world. Sometimes it is some anxiety, some concern. Means finally we'll find world only. In a Jnani's mind, you will find the other side. Other side is Brahma. So think of it this way. In between there is mind. The one that is illumining the mind is consciousness. The one that is getting illumined by mind and consciousness is the world. Everybody with me for this? Consciousness doesn't illumine world directly. Consciousness illumines mind. Mind lit up by consciousness illumines the world. So we have a choice. Where is this mind focused on? Is it focused only on the world? Or at least now and then, it focuses on the illuminator of this mind, the essential nature of this mind. He says Jnani's mind is always turned within. It might look as though it is going out, but really speaking, it is Jnana avasthita chetasaha. With this mindset, let him do whatever he wants. Yajnaya acharatah karma. Somebody like Janak Maharaj, he might be doing so many yajnas. It might be literal yajna worship also. Yajnaya acharata karma samagram praviliyate. Because of this knowledge, even the results which are coming from that yajna, they are also dissolved. We should remember, for a Jnani, even punya karma is a bondage. He is not even seeking punya karma through that yajna. Why is that a bondage? Because punya karma, if it is there, and he has to take birth in some loka, it will push him into taking more rebirth. The example we had seen was, somebody doesn't want to go to some holiday destination. What are some examples? Cancun, wherever those destinations are. Somebody doesn't want to go there. But you say, no, you have to go. This is a ticket, you have to go. There is no choice. He says, it might be a good place, but I don't want to go. That is his Jnani state. He says, I am reveling in that bliss. I don't want to take any more physical bodies. Yajnaya acharata karma samagram praviliyate. Samagram means phalena sahitam. Agra, like arrow is there, right? What is agra of an arrow? The tip of an arrow. What is there in front of an arrow? So agra word means that. What is there at the front? So what is there in front of karma? Phala. Phala. The result which is there in front of karma, that is called as samagram. Samagram means that. Along with results, everything is dissolved for that Jnani. Work doesn't bind, no results bind that Jnani. Samagram praviliyate. Next verse is a very beautiful one, which we chant every time before eating food. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi. It will take time to elaborate, so we'll see it in the next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.